All right, check this out. 1 minute, our boy is just a regular single dad, a total corporate slave. The next, his daughter vanishes into thin air. You just know he's about to snap, right? But here's the kicker. They didn't just kidnap any kid. They messed with the daughter of a living legend, a former Black Ops agent known only as Number 66. This ain't a rescue mission. It's a boss hunt, and our boy is the final boss. So, how did our boy even get on their radar? It all started with him trying to keep a low profile for his daughter. Look at this. He's literally on his knees, taking all this disrespect from some corporate nobody. And her friends? One's laughing her head off, the other's just watching coldly. They have no idea who they're messing with. And it turns out, all this humiliation is because these rich scumbags are bullying his daughter. They're screaming about ruining her permanent record, basically torpedoing her future. Our boy has to just stand there and take it, seething with a rage that could level cities. But don't worry, he's keeping receipts. But patience has its limits. The moment they took his daughter, they unleashed the beast. Mask on, the switch is flipped. Our boy is no longer a manager. He's Agent 66. And he goes straight for the kill, garroting this goon with cold precision. The girlfriend is screaming her lungs out, but trust me, nobody's listening. And does he care about her screaming? Absolutely not. She gets a swift kick to the gut for her troubles. Our boy is on a one-track mission, and anyone who gets in his way is just another obstacle to be removed. He adjusts his mask, completely unfazed, already moving on to the next target. Meanwhile, the guy he's been working on is not having a good time. Look at this dude, foaming at the mouth, veins popping, muscles tearing. Is he trying to power up with some weird drug? Or is he just mentally and physically breaking down from the sheer terror of facing Manager Kim? But beneath all that cold-blooded rage is pure, gut-wrenching agony. He returns to an empty home, a place that's now just a hollow shell without his daughter. And the reality of the situation crashes down hard, not just on him, but on everyone who knew her. The devastation is real. From calm contemplation to a sudden burst of rage, and then BM, he gets blindsided. Our boy is trying to keep his cool, but the fury is bubbling just beneath the surface. He's not just a hunter, he's also the hunted. This road to revenge is going to be a bloody one. And it doesn't take long for him to find a new lead. He's got this loan shark pinned, and one look at this contract tells you why. A 55% annual interest rate, and a clause that gives them rights over the debtor's family. These guys aren't just scumbags, they're monsters. This just got way more personal. His rampage is terrifying the local kids, but just as he's about to unleash hell on these punks, he gets checked. A clean slap to the face. Looks like there's a bigger fish in this pond. But for Manager Kim, that just means a bigger target. And then he hears the words that shatter his world. Harvest and sell off her organs. Oh, hell no. The switch didn't just flip, it broke off. He's not looking for information anymore. This is pure, unadulterated rage, and he's about to deliver it one slap at a time. The rage is all-consuming now. Manager Kim is violence incarnate. Look at the absolute terror on this guy's face. He knows he's done. When you push a father this far, there's no coming back. There's no negotiation. Only punishment. That's what I thought, you motherfucker. Our boy is not asking questions anymore. He's making statements. Meanwhile, the girl they're using as a shield is screaming her head off. In this one-man war, terror is the only language being spoken. He slams another goon's head into the pavement, his face a twisted mask of pain and fury. To find his daughter, our boy is willing to absorb any pain and inflict 10 times more. The hunt is relentless. Pain, anger, desperation, it's all boiling over. He's resorting to extreme measures to get answers, and the people he's questioning are experiencing a whole new level of suffering. This isn't an interrogation. It's a descent into hell for everyone involved. After one brutal interrogation, he leaves the screaming woman behind. Manager Kim picks up his briefcase and steps back into the night, a lone wolf on the hunt. His solitary figure against the starry sky says it all. This journey is his and his alone. The name Manager Kim is now synonymous with blood and violence. He locks eyes on his next target, a predator spotting his prey. But even in his rage, he shields a terrified girl behind him. He's become both a monster and a guardian angel. Nightfall provides the perfect cover. Mask on, eyes sharp, he makes his move. There's no hesitation, no second thought. He breaks in without a sound. Click. The door to their doom has just been opened. What the F***? The situation inside is not what he expected. A sudden flash of light, a creaking door. Something's off. He points to himself in disbelief and anger. Is this a trap? Trap or not? His response is the same. Overwhelming violence. Mask on, killing intent overflowing. Whack. He sends the biggest guy flying, and the rest of the crew scrambles back in terror. This is what absolute dominance looks like. Crash. He doesn't bother with the lock, just smashes the door down. Baseball bat in hand, he enters like a vengeful spirit. The couple inside is frozen with fear. All they can do now is pray they aren't the reason he's here. Boom! Another door bites the dust. A new player enters the game, baseball bat and all, with his crew in tow. Their target is already on his knees, trembling. A different kind of storm is brewing now. Flashing back, we see the sheer brutality of his methods. A man is being whipped mercilessly with a belt while a woman watches, her face a mask of pure horror. Manager Kim's revenge isn't just physical, it's psychological warfare. And when our boy fights, there's no wasted motion. The once timid salaryman is now a master of combat. A lightning-fast kick connects squarely with the enemy's face. Fast, precise, and brutal. This is his true nature unleashed. Fists, feet, or weapons, it doesn't matter. Manager Kim is a finely tuned killing machine. Every strike is calculated and lethal. His opponents don't stand a chance. They're just lambs to the slaughter. Even when on the defensive, he's always in control, turning his opponent's momentum against them. Against a legend like him, any attempt to fight back is just futile. This is the power of a former top-tier agent. The fight gets so intense the entire building shakes. Look at him, eyes glowing with pure fury. He brings the weapon down, and with a sickening crack, the world goes silent. It's not just glass shattering, it's bones. The interrogation continues, and his methods get more creative. He's got a guy hanging upside down, using a broken piece of his own glasses as a weapon. The girl's terrified expression says it all. Facing Manager Kim's wrath is a fate worse than death. He tightens the wire around the man's neck, squeezing the life and the information out of him. The word mercy has been completely erased from Manager Kim's vocabulary. Once he gets what he needs, there's no time to waste. He makes a dynamic exit right through the window, a man on a mission against the clock. The people left inside can only stare in shock as this force of nature vanishes into the night. He sprints through the rain-soaked streets, his face a mask of primal fury and pain. But the enemy is always one step ahead. A sudden trip wire sends him crashing to the ground. This path of vengeance is paved with obstacles. Even injured, his resolve doesn't waver. The blood on his lips only fuels his anger. A shooting star streaks across the sky. Is it a sign of hope or an omen of the carnage to come? The trail goes cold. Our boy collapses in the middle of the street, overwhelmed by grief and confusion. That giant, bloody question mark says it all. He's lost. Minji, where are you? And we cut back to another brutal interrogation in progress. Manager Kim silences his victim as a thin wire presses against his throat. Whoosh. Another life is about to be extinguished in the name of his daughter. I don't know. Really, I don't know. The poor bastard's pleas are useless against the storm of fists. Manager Kim doesn't want apologies. He wants answers. Wham! Another devastating blow lands. I told you. I seriously don't know you. The man is completely drained, pleading for his life. But the figure looming over him, a cold-eyed man with glasses, remains unmoved. There is no pity here. He rips his own shirt open, revealing a fresh wound across his chest. This isn't just a scar. It's a testament to how far he's willing to go. He stares down his tattooed opponent. The fight is far from over. Late at night, he connects with an anonymous contact through a secure channel. In the blink of an eye, the tired father is gone, replaced by the sharp, calculating agent. For his daughter, he'll awaken every demon he's ever put to rest. Gangchan Ju of Ju Young Construction. Of course, I need to be there myself. The moment he hears the name, even the blood on his lips can't hide his contempt. He clenches his fist. A high-profile target just made his list. Facing a new opponent, his attacks are just as ferocious. Every punch lands with the force of a freight train, leaving the enemy completely stunned. And the young woman watching from a distance? She's witnessing a monster at work. With a demonic red glow in his eyes, he snaps the man's neck with a sickening crayak. He looks down at the body without a hint of emotion, as if taking out the trash. This is the price for crossing Manager Kim. Anyone connected to his daughter's disappearance will face his wrath. This scumbag, pinned to the wall, is howling in agony, all because of a predatory loan agreement. A piece of paper that signed his death warrant. I break the law. I'm guaranteed forgiveness. This idiot clearly doesn't know who he's talking to. Manager Kim doesn't even bother with a reply. A single punch is all it takes to shut him up and send him rolling. The corporate drone has shed his skin. He calmly opens his briefcase, revealing an arsenal of deadly tools. The way he expertly handles that pistol tells you everything. The loving father is gone. In his place stands a stone-cold killer. After brutally dismantling his enemies, he calmly reloads his weapon with professional ease. But beneath that cold exterior, a memory surfaces, a simple, happy meal with his daughter. This is what fuels him. There isn't a word you call a parent who has lost their child. Damn, that line hits like a truck. The gun goes off. Another target drops. To Manager Kim, it's just another step on his bloody path. His expression remains unchanged. This is just business as usual for him now. He takes a hit, but the physical pain is nothing compared to the storm inside him. He fights back tears, his resolve hardening with every second. And just then, a gunshot rings out. A new threat emerges from the shadows. Manager Kim's interrogation methods are straight out of a horror movie. Broken teeth, splattered blood. It's all part of his symphony of pain. And the girl forced to watch? Her soul is being scarred forever. Smoke curls from the barrel of his gun as another body hits the floor. Masked and shielded, Manager Kim looks like the Grim Reaper himself, silently carrying out his sentences. Please, we just follow orders. The man on the ground begs for his life, sniffling and crying. But our boy is deaf to his pleas. He calmly steps on a briefcase. The K chunk sound like a timer, counting down to this man's final moments. The clenched fist represents his boundless rage. The enemy's tortured face is the fruit of his vengeance. And our boy, with that red glint in his eye, has fully transformed into a beast driven by a singular, bloody purpose. After learning his lesson, the guy is down for the count. Our boy reaches for a phone, and that's when he gets the notification. The message he's about to read will change everything. The girl who fought with the chairman's daughter. I'm putting her on the ship. And the final, soul-crushing message. I've confirmed that she's dead. These words on the screen aren't just text. They're daggers to a father's heart. His last sliver of hope is extinguished. The confirmation of his daughter's death reflects in his glasses, and in that moment, his entire world shatters. The shock, the pain, the absolute fury on his face. It's a prelude to a storm of vengeance unlike anything this city has ever seen. He stands perfectly still, sweat dripping down his face. In this moment, he's calmer than ever, which makes him infinitely more dangerous. A father with nothing left to lose has just become everyone's worst nightmare. He smashes his briefcase on the ground, the contents scattering. He calmly wipes his ear, as if erasing the last traces of his former self. From this point forward, he is nothing but a phantom of vengeance. Inside the car, a voice call request comes through from mysterious contact. Manager Kim's eyes narrow. He knows this call could be a one-way ticket to hell, but he's taking it anyway. His partner tries to intervene, but our boy just takes a drag from his cigarette, his expression unreadable. His eyes say it all. This is my fight. No one's going to stop him now. Get rid of your cell phone, too. The order comes through to erase all ties. As the chat history vanishes, it's more than just data being deleted. It's his final goodbye to his old life. And the defeated man on the floor? He's just witnessed the birth of a demon. As he gets the final confirmation over the phone, his world goes dark. Tears stream from his eyes like electricity. He's holding the phone, but he'll never hear his daughter's voice again. The last ember of hope has been snuffed out, replaced by an abyss of despair. Do it! He screams into the phone, his face a canvas of agony and rage. He no longer cares about his own life. All he wants is to drag every single person responsible down to hell with him. Stab. The blade sinks in and blood splatters. But the one who ordered the hit is shaking uncontrollably. Revenge is never clean. It's a poison that consumes everything, especially your own humanity. Shank him one more time. Stick him again right now. The scene descends into chaos. People are shaking with fear, screaming with rage. In this twisted play of vengeance, everyone is both an actor and a victim. His eyes glowing like embers from hell, Manager Kim looms over his prey. He points the blade at the terrified man on the floor, his gaze arctic cold. In this moment, he isn't just a man, he's a harbinger of death. Not even a squadron of armed police can slow him down. He's a human tank, plowing through any and all opposition. A bloodbath is inevitable. But just then, a new player enters the scene. A masked man with a knife, who seems to have Kim completely outmatched. The threat is escalating, suggesting our boy is up against a much larger, more dangerous organization than he thought. His rampage has officially drawn the attention of the entire police force. Sirens wail as the city descends into chaos, all because of one father's grief. This has escalated from a personal vendetta to a citywide crisis. The police station is in total chaos, but nobody can handle Manager Kim. He's tearing the place apart, looking for his target. When our boy wants someone, not even the law can protect them. That's the kind of power we're talking about. Eventually, they manage to get him in cuffs. But look at him sitting there in silence. He's not defeated. He's just waiting. This is merely an intermission. The real show is yet to come. The cops find a key piece of evidence, a walkie-talkie. They run the prints through their system, hoping for a match. But little do they know, they're not hunting a man, they're hunting a ghost. And just as they think they have a lead, BAM. Access denied. All information on this target is completely blocked. Code 66 doesn't exist. Meanwhile, the pressure is getting to our boy. The trail has gone cold again, and the weight of it all is crushing him. Getting arrested didn't stop him. It just made him more efficient. Who caused all this? He's turning the precinct into his personal interrogation room, beating answers out of anyone who gets in his way. The cops are no longer law enforcement. They're just obstacles. Haha, you simpleton. Can't do anything with cuffs on. Oh, you sweet, naive fools. They really think a pair of handcuffs can contain a living weapon? They're about to get a very painful education. He doesn't even bother breaking the cuffs. He just uses them as a weapon, demolishing these clowns while still restrained. He's even interrogating suspects right in front of the cops. The audacity is off the charts, and nobody dares to stop him. Finally, the cops resort to a special restraint collar to try and control this rampaging beast. But you can see it in his eyes, in his roar of defiance. This little gadget isn't going to hold him for long. The cops are smiling now, but they won't be for long. And right on cue, the mysterious walkie-talkie starts ringing. The cops have brought in their elite judo team, thinking they can handle the situation. But the person on the other end of that line? That's the only one Manager Kim might actually listen to. The old-school flip phone rings, and the screen lights up with Daughter Heartsuit. Our boy's composure completely shatters. His hands are trembling. His heart is breaking all over again. And from the shadows, a mysterious figure watches, as if this was all part of his plan. Stand up. With cold authority, Manager Kim yanks the cuffed cop to his feet. He's not yelling, but his voice carries a weight that cannot be ignored. This officer definitely knows something. While the phone continues to ring, the office of the second squad has been utterly decimated. Manager Kim single-handedly took down the entire unit. This is his way of answering the call. Downed officers, terrified colleagues, and a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. Manager Kim's arrival has plunged the entire police department into a state of panic. He's not here to file a report. He's here to deliver judgment. He presses the walkie-talkie against the man's mouth, silencing him completely. The incessant ringing of the phone becomes a death knell, echoing in the suffocating silence of pure terror. The call from Daughter is both his greatest weakness and his ultimate source of strength. With one hand crushing a throat and the other clutching the phone, his face is a war zone of conflicting emotions. In this moment, he is both a father and a demon. The phone keeps ringing. Manager Kim puts a finger to his lips, demanding silence from the carnage around him. He's going to answer this call from his daughter, no matter if it brings hope or deeper despair. With one hand clutching the phone, the other uses a knee to pin a cop's head to the ground. He's creating a quiet space for his call in the most violent way imaginable. The moment he hears the voice on the other end, he finally breaks, tears streaming down his face. Meanwhile, his partner is on it, using this old-school tech to pinpoint the signal's origin. The next phase of the operation is a go. Connecting Daughter Heartsuit. The screen glows as our boy stands amidst the wreckage of the police station, his expression grim. This call is a beacon, guiding him to the next battlefield. He grips the walkie-talkie, veins bulging on his hand. Boom! The sheer force of his presence rocks the room. He doesn't need words. His actions are his declaration of war. Manager Kim, a name that now inspires terror. The scars on his face are medals from a past life, and the fire in his eyes is the fuel for his vengeance. When this man roars, the world trembles. He takes down the police chief with a single blow, stunning every officer in the vicinity into submission. In the face of his absolute power, their laws and procedures become a complete joke. But suddenly, a higher authority steps in. They flash a badge that makes even the cops step back in fear. It looks like Manager Kim has just picked a fight with the government itself. This new guy, codenamed Groundhog, seems to be an old acquaintance of Kim's, and he doesn't waste any time with pleasantries, delivering a series of brutal slaps to the arrogant cop. Looks like reinforcements have arrived. Director Groundhog calmly smokes a cigarette while directing his team. These are the elites from a National Special Ops Bureau, and they've been dispatched to clean up the mess made by Code 66. National Special Operations, Director of Bureau G, Gukshio Kong. Codename, Groundhog. The arrival of this heavyweight completely changes the game. This is a man who has seen it all. It turns out the local police started digging because someone else had run a background check on Code 66 right here. Groundhog uses a wire to persuade the officer into sharing this crucial piece of information. Yeah, Kim's old buddies are just as ruthless. With the help of these top-tier agents, the GPS tracking range is rapidly shrinking. Manager Kim, monitoring the situation remotely, directs the operation with cold, calculated precision. A high-tech manhunt is officially underway. And just like that, they got a location, White Taekwondo. The name alone is enough to shock Groundhog's men. Are they seriously going up against a Taekwondo master? Inside the dojang, kids are training, and the instructor seems friendly enough. But our boy is sitting in the corner, radiating a dark aura that completely clashes with the cheerful atmosphere. Even the kids are scared to go near him. This supposedly friendly instructor has a smug smile that suggests he knows more than he's letting on. Meanwhile, Kim's partner is getting a massive headache. This confrontation is proving to be far more complicated than they anticipated. Our boy takes out the old flip phone, and the instructor's face immediately changes. The moment that phone snaps shut with a decisive clack, you know it's on. The time for talking is over. Outside, Groundhog's team has the place surrounded. Rain begins to fall, mixing with the blood on the ground. A grim omen for the slaughter that's about to begin. Our boy and his partner are walking straight into the lion's den. Under Manager Kim's intense questioning, the instructor is absolutely terrified. But our boy just calmly fidgets with his fingers, his patience wearing thinner by the second. It turns out this instructor also had a son, Taehan, who was gravely injured in an accident. A painful memory that still haunts him. Perhaps he, more than anyone, can understand the hell Manager Kim is going through. From gut-wrenching grief to quiet desperation, and then back to warm memories of playing with the children. This instructor's mind is a battlefield of conflicting emotions, much like Kim's. But the warmth of memory only makes the cold reality harsher. The moment he sees Kim holding his own son, that shared bond of fatherhood evaporates, replaced by a burning rage. He's about to settle things with Manager Kim, one way or another. The battle of the dads begins. The instructor's attacks are lightning fast, but Manager Kim doesn't seem to be taking this seriously at all. Is he eating French fries in the middle of a fight? If you get your feet caught, a cold smile spreads across our boy's face. He grabs the instructor's ankle and flings him through the air like a rag doll. The power gap between them is just immense. With a sickening crunch, the instructor is brutally stomped into submission. This fight was over before it even began. Turns out this was all a flashback. We see that Manager Kim once taught the instructor a brutal lesson using nothing but 2 cups of French fries. The young man getting his head held down? That was the instructor in his younger days. In another memory, Kim acted like a father figure, even making him a warm meal. A kindness the instructor never forgot. But now, that war man has been replaced by a cold-blooded demon of vengeance. Back in the present, the instructor is completely outmatched by his former teacher. Every one of Manager Kim's strikes is precise and devastating, his eyes holding no trace of their past connection. His attacks are relentless. A powerful high kick sends the instructor flying upside down. The man who once guided him has now become just another obstacle on his path of revenge. As more enemies swarm the dojang, the former student and master team up. It seems the instructor has chosen to side with Manager Kim, and together, they're ready to take on the real threat. Manager Kim moves through the crowd like a force of nature, taking out goons left and right. The 2 suits watching from the side are completely stunned. They've never witnessed this level of combat prowess before. National representative, legendary athlete. Turns out the instructor is a big deal himself. With him and Manager Kim fighting side by side, they're an unstoppable force of destruction. Fighting back to back, they carve a path of destruction through their enemies. They have one shared goal: find a mastermind and save Kim's daughter. But wait, the instructor is smiling, and it's not a friendly one. He seems to be taunting our boy. Does he have another card to play? Or was this alliance a sham from the start? Meanwhile, Kim's tech-savvy partner is flooring it in a custom van, racing through an underground tunnel. The cavalry is on its way. If only I had known something like this would happen. The partner is filled with regret, but he channels it into action. He gets to work in his mobile command center, his fingers flying across the keyboard. He's going to clear a path for Kim with his skills. The times have changed since we were on duty. The partner provides critical intel, guiding Kim through the modern battlefield. This war isn't just fought with fists, it's fought with information. Manager Kim's gaze turns to ice. The cawing of crows sounds like a death knell in the distance. He steps forward, crushing a no trespassing sign under his heel. A clear message. For his daughter, there are no forbidden zones. They arrive at a derelict school, and the place just screams danger. The 2 severed, bloody hands on the ground are a pretty clear indicator that they're walking into a slaughterhouse. What the hell happened here? Mabuk High. The name of this school seems to trigger something deep within Manager Kim. He lets out a primal roar as the full extent of his power begins to awaken. A massive battle is about to go down on these haunted grounds. A gang of motorcycle punks surrounds them, their leader shouting, "What do you want, you old geezer?" These idiots have no clue they're casually chatting with the Grim Reaper. Turns out, these guys are part of the four crews of Southern Jiang. And based on the arrogant smirk of their vice head, you can tell they're used to getting whatever they want. You're gonna get hurt if you stick around. They try to threaten him, but our boy just frowns. He's already gotten the information he needs. Top floor of the centermost building, and a left turn at the entrance. With a dagger to the throat, the enemy is neutralized in an instant. Manager Kim moves like a phantom, ending the fight before his opponent even realizes it's begun. Against this mob, he doesn't even need a weapon. Boom! A single punch sends a guy flying. Stomp! A boot to the face sends a clear message. This isn't a fight, it's a demolition. He grabs one of the student thugs, demanding to know if he's seen a girl with a heart-shaped keychain. For his daughter, he'll interrogate anyone, no matter how young they are. Manager Kim, a man who thrives in the shadows. He peers through the blinds, observing his prey. His eyes are like a hawk's, missing nothing. He infiltrates the enemy's headquarters, a den of criminals and lowlifes. The shadowy figure with his back turned. Could he be the one pulling the strings? If you have the luxury to worry about what's going on outside, go get another girl. The tattooed leader speaks with a chilling nonchalance. It seems Kim's daughter isn't their only victim. This 19-year-old undefeated boxing champion, Shin Sung-go, looks pretty cocky. But he's about to learn that against Manager Kim, his champion fists are about as effective as marshmallows. Our boy erupts, sending henchmen flying like leaves in a hurricane. What the F***CK? The survivors can only scream in terror as they witness this whirlwind of destruction. He strikes with cold precision, each blow landing on a vital point. There's no emotion on his face, only absolute focus. For him, combat is as natural as breathing. 3 or 4 get taken out with a single punch. Manager Kim's power level is completely off the charts for these street thugs. All they can do is watch in horror as their friend are picked off one by one. The boss told us to lay low until things calm down. These guys are busy discussing their orders, completely oblivious to the fact that death is standing right beside them. And now his partner joins the fray. He drops in from above like a bolt of lightning, completely shattering the enemy's formation. This dynamic duo is about to clean house. Faced with this monstrous duo, the thugs' expressions shift from arrogance to pure terror. They finally realize they've messed with the wrong people. The instructor is here to help too. He might not be on Kim's level, but he's more than enough to handle these low-level goons. With this trio assembled, their combat power is off the charts. You're gonna get hurt. How ironic those words sound now. The instructor clears the room with a single spinning kick. These punks weren't even a decent warm-up for him. This time, our boy is facing the Ace and Tech High crew. In one look at him, shirtless, covered in tattoos, and wielding a giant sledgehammer. Yeah, these high school kids are about to have a very, very bad day. Vice head Hyunjin Ji was released from juvenile detention 3 days ago. So this one's supposed to be a tough guy. But Manager Kim doesn't care what your title is. If you mess with his daughter, not even God can save you. And with that, the fight is over. The instructor coolly lights a cigarette and uses his own black belt to wipe his hands, like he's just dusting off some dirt. The swagger is unreal. Why yes, I'm trying to go to the first floor of the central building. These two punks are so terrified, they become willing tour guides. Manager Kim stares at the dilapidated building, his expression hardening. He knows the real fight is about to begin. The enemies inside this building are clearly a different breed. But the killing intent in Manager Kim's eyes is more potent than all of them combined. A brutal showdown is coming. Manager Kim strikes first, taking down an opponent with a single, brutal punch. Against scum like this, he shows no restraint, because in his eyes, they all deserve to die. His eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Manager Kim is like a demon returned from hell. Everywhere he goes, bodies drop. This building is about to become an altar for his vengeance. The first floor main office of the central building. The guy finally spills the beans. Our boy slowly takes off his sunglasses, revealing the cold, dead eyes of a killer. Showtime. You look like you work out a bit. The opponent tries to size him up, but our boy answers with a flying kick. In front of him, your bit of training is a complete joke. But you leave your chin wide open. Manager Kim coldly points out his opponent's fatal flaw and then proceeds to correct it with his fist. His fighting style is pure, brutal artistry. He uses the environment and his flawless technique to completely dismantle his enemies, turning the battle into his personal playground. He storms the office, dragging people out and beating them down one by one. There are no tactics here, just raw, unfiltered violence. Whack. Boom. With every sickening thud, another enemy falls. Every punch Manager Kim throws is fueled by the infinite rage of a father. He kicks the door open, scaring the absolute hell out of everyone inside. Even the big, tattooed boss looks terrified. He knows he just picked a fight with the wrong guy. Is it you? Manager Kim advances, his killing intent so palpable it's practically suffocating. The veins on his forehead bulge, a clear sign that he is about to snap. So, this place is a high-security hideout, complete with surveillance everywhere. And the bleeding man in the chair, he seems to know something. The tattoo on his back, it must be the mark of their organization. Then our boy sees it. Tucked into the gray-haired man's shirt pocket is a pink phone, with a familiar heart-shaped charm his daughter loved. In that single, horrifying moment, everything becomes clear. A mysterious woman in a suit lets out a roar as our boy delivers a bone-shattering punch to the tattooed brute. He's going to make every single one of them pay in blood. He stomps his foot, and the sheer force of the impact shatters the floor. The bald guy and the tattoo freak are completely stunned by his raw power. This is Manager Kim, unleashed. The tattooed man gets sent flying into a wall. But the purple-haired guy, Sungo, just watches calmly. The time has finally come. He and Manager Kim are about to face off. The moment he saw his daughter's phone, something inside him snapped completely. He stares down at Sungo on the couch, his eyes like daggers, promising a slow and painful death. The phone's wallpaper is his daughter's smiling face, a sight that rips our boy's heart to shreds. But Sungo just laughs, even sticking his tongue out in taunt. He's not just playing with fire. He's dousing himself in gasoline and lighting the match. And that's it. The last thread of his sanity has just snapped. His face contorts into a mask of pure, primal rage, his eyes rolling back as he lets out an inhuman roar. The beast is fully awake, and his bloody hunt is about to begin. And just like that, the aftermath is a war zone. Our boy is panting, already covered in grime and blood, but trust me, he's just getting warmed up. The beast he unleashed is only beginning its hunt. But he's not just here to break bones. He needs answers, and he needs them now. A quick hair grab, a brutal slap. This is interrogation, Manager Kim style. And all their burner phones? Yeah, those are getting smashed to bits. No loose ends. Look at the absolute fury in his eyes. This isn't a negotiation. He's crushing this guy's windpipe with one hand, while whatever's in his other hand is turning to dust. Every crack, every thwack is sending a clear message. Where is my daughter? The rampage continues, a whirlwind of destruction leaving a trail of bodies. He's even masked up now, going full ghost protocol on these thugs. From sending guys flying to a classic chokehold, our boy is a one-man army. And what's this? Someone trying to hold on to something important? A pen, maybe? Goo! Our boy stomps down, and the sound of cracking bones says it all. Resistance is futile when you're dealing with a pissed-off dad. A single stomp shakes the entire room. The sheer force is insane. The onlookers are telling him to stop. But are they serious? This runaway train of vengeance isn't stopping for anyone. After the chaos, he tries to compose himself, fixing his tie, trying to find a sliver of his old self. But then he clenches that scarred fist, and the beast roars back to life. Look at that glare. He's ready to burn it all down. Finally, the guy with the rose tattoo is down for the count. The job is done. His associate hands over the box of broken phones. Through all the bloodshed, our boy has finally secured his first real lead. His guy reports back. All burner phones unlocked, security bypassed. And he's even separated the girls' phones. Plural. It seems this goes deeper than just Minji. They've messed with the wrong man, and now they've messed with the wrong man's daughter and her friends. Big mistake. The tattooed punk is still cracking wise, asking if there are any pretty ones, completely oblivious to who he's dealing with. Little does he know, Mr. Kim is about to press unlock and come face to face with his daughter's picture. The calm before the storm. While the lackeys are fooling around, trying to get a peek at the phone, Mr. Kim gets his hands on it. His expressions shift from stoic to pure shock as he yells, "Holy hell, this is a total loser's phone." Wait, what? That's his takeaway right now? Turns out, they're laughing because the call history is nothing but missed calls from dad. They're mocking her for being a daddy's girl, having no idea that this particular dad is the last person on earth they should be messing with. The irony is killing me. Our boy is scrolling through the call log, a weird mix of emotions on his face. But then, oh crap, a misclick. He accidentally calls Dad, which is his own number. The panic is real. Cancel. Cancel. Even though the call didn't go through, Just holding his daughter's phone is enough. The killer intent in his eyes is unmistakable. He grabs the punk by the throat, shoving the phone in his face. Playtime is officially over. He's scrolling through the messages, and then he sees it. A text from someone named Hyeyong. Minji, can I get 20 bucks lol? An innocent message that hits him like a freight train. The realization dawns. His daughter might already be Hyeyong. The name echoes in his mind, triggering a memory. A casual conversation with his daughter about going to her friend's house. A name he paid no attention to before has now become the single most important clue he has. The memories flood back. Minji telling him she was going on a field trip with her closest friend, Hyeyong. Her closest friend? Gripping the phone, a cold sweat runs down his spine as a horrifying possibility starts to form in his mind. He stares at the chat logs, borrowing money, borrowing a phone, making plans for a trip. Every casual message feels like a mockery now. He thought she was just living a normal school life, completely unaware of the danger lurking right beside her. The text from Hyeyong asking to borrow the phone, juxtaposed with the cold, dead body in front of him. Our boy watches calmly, sensing a larger conspiracy at play. Somewhere out there, a pair of ringed fingers is pulling the strings. And now, we flash back to the classroom. The girl in the mask, Hyeyong, pressures Minji into lending her phone, claiming she needs to call her boyfriend. Poor Minji has no idea that this simple act of borrowing is about to drag her into a living nightmare. Minji seemed hesitant at first, even confused by the word friends. But faced with Hyeyong's persistence, her innocent nature won out, and she chose to trust her. Once they have the phone, Hyeyong and her friends immediately start making fun of Minji's cringy heart keychain. Meanwhile, Minji just stares out the window, perhaps already feeling that something about this friendship was off from the very beginning. Back in the present, our boy clenches his fist, veins bulging. All those seemingly harmless school day moments, all the details he overlooked, have now converged into a storm of regret and rage inside him. He even remembers filling out her school forms. When he asked who her best friend was, she didn't hesitate for a second. Hyeyong, she said, I'm closest with her. She's always with me too. His daughter's innocent words clash violently with the manipulative texts on the phone. The cruel contrast is too much to bear, pushing our boy to his breaking point. And now he remembers their arguments. He'd get furious when she didn't answer his calls, and she complained that he was embarrassing her in front of her friends. Back then, he just didn't get it. He didn't understand her world. What's the big deal with not picking up when I'm with my friends? Her defiant words echo in his ears. Now, staring at those same friends in her chat history, all he feels is regret and a cold, hardening resolve. All the clues, all the emotions have led to this single point. No more hesitation. He snatches the phone from the thug's hand with grim determination. He knows what he has to do. The real storm is about to begin. He turns to his partner, his voice cold as ice. Find Minji. Fast. You can apologize to her then, for not being able to pay more attention. It's not a request. It's a command, tinged with his own crushing guilt. He looks down at the unconscious tattooed man on the floor, a cold, cruel smirk playing on his lips. Any mercy or hesitation he might have had is long gone. From this moment on, he is nothing but a father-turned-monster, all for his daughter. With his daughter's phone in hand, he stares down at the loser on the ground. So what's the next move? The clues are there, the target is becoming clearer. The hunt is entering its next phase. Clutching his daughter's phone, our boy's heart is in pieces. He drowns his sorrow in cheap soju, looking like just another broken man on the street. But we all know this is just the calm before the inevitable storm. But wait, this isn't self-pity. It's a disguise. The moment his associates arrive, the pathetic drunk transforms back into the cold, calculating commander. And that bloody 21 foot on the ground looks like a mission marker. The game is afoot. Using his daughter's phone as bait, he scours the dark corners of the city for information. And when he finds an actual homeless man who might know something, there's no mercy. He uses his unique skills to extract intel. For his daughter, he shed his humanity. I didn't steal it. I didn't find it on the ground. The poor guy is terrified, but Mr. Kim isn't listening to his pleas. His eyes are glued to the phone, searching for any digital breadcrumb he can follow. Once he has what he needs, our boy turns his back and walks away, leaving a simple order. Take care of this, and then throw it away. The terrified informant can only watch him go, knowing he just had an encounter with the grim Reaper himself. His cleanup crew is on site, casually talking about sending bodies to the incinerator. But then, one of them spots something. Lying on the ground next to the phone is a small, yellow pouch. A new clue has just entered the game. Manager Kim continues his undercover act, A homeless man with a nice phone and a stack of cash. The perfect bait. And right on cue, some local thugs take the hook, mocking the homeless bastard. They have no idea they're about to knock on the devil's door. And the act is over. In a flash, he switches back to killer mode, his cold, oppressive aura filling the alley. The thugs who were so tough a second ago are now staring into the abyss. His face is a mask of pure paternal rage. That cold, wicked smile says it all. His fists are clenched, veins popping, ready to unleash hell. Anyone who stands in his way is about to be utterly crushed. This is no longer just a company manager or a gentle father. This is a vengeful spirit walking in the dark, a monster willing to take on the entire world for his daughter. And the show is just getting started. We cut back to Manager Kim, still in his homeless disguise. He's curled up in an alley, twitching, playing the part of a helpless vagrant to perfection. But then his eyes snap open, sharp, alert, and deadly. The hunter has found his next prey. While listening in on his targets, he casually approaches a trash can, subtly marking it. Every movement is precise, calculated, the hallmark of a seasoned agent. In the shadows of this city, he is the apex predator. To sell the disguise, our boy really commits. He even does the whole nose-picking thing before wandering off, humming a little tune. The dedication is unreal. This man deserves an Oscar for his performance. But the moment he confronts his actual target, the disguise evaporates. His eyes are bloodshot, his face contorted into a demonic snarl. The informant is looking at a man who crawled straight out of hell, and he is absolutely terrified. Have any special identifiers? Mr. Kim growls, grabbing the man by his collar. The sheer pressure is suffocating, squeezing any coherent words out of the poor guy, leaving him to just scream in terror. His interrogation methods are simple, brutal, and highly effective. That cruel smile on his face says it all. You can choose not to talk, but I have a million ways to make you sing. The spot where he dumped the phone. Where was it? He mutters, his mind racing as he tortures the informant. Every second wasted puts his daughter in more danger, and the anxiety and rage are eating him alive. Once they have the information they need, Manager Kim and his partner leave without a second glance, leaving the terrified informant behind. To them, he was just a means to an end. But it seems this informant is an old hand at the game. Once he recovers, he actually cracks a sly grin. He thinks he can play these guys for more money. "Oh, you sweet, foolish man. Of course I got some money for you," he says, reaching into his pocket with a greedy look in his eye. He has absolutely no idea he is dancing on the razor's edge of death. He boasts about being on the streets for 25 years, trying to use a coin to prove his worth. Manager Kim just takes it, and without a change in expression, bends it in half with his bare fingers. The power gap is just astronomical. From a now terrified informant, he gets his next lead, the peers. The scene shifts, and the cry of seagulls almost feels like a warning siren. This peaceful pier is about to become a bloodbath. In a flashback, we see the kidnappers brutally stuffing a girl into a trunk, while their leader kneels on the ground in agony. This tough-looking guy seems to be just another pawn in a larger game, his eyes burning with anger and resolve. A huge sack is unceremoniously dropped off at the Simmel Freezer Incorporated warehouse. The guards outside are just chilling, smoking, completely unaware that a hurricane of death is heading straight for them. Manager Kim is closing in. This guy with the gold teeth and the psychotic smile seems to be one of the masterminds. The expressions on his crew, one crazy, one serious, one in despair, hint at some serious internal conflict. And what's with that bloody number 21? Turns out our gold-toothed friend had all his teeth yanked out once, which understandably messed him up. And the culprit? The chairman of Ju-Young Construction. A twisted revenge plot within a larger kidnapping plot is starting to unfold. But just as they're in the middle of their dirty dealings, a cop stumbles upon the scene. Before he can even process what's happening, a knife is buried in his gut. These guys play for keeps. The gold-toothed psycho stabs the cop relentlessly, muttering that it shouldn't be a big deal. This complete disregard for human life marks him as a true monster. And these are the demons Manager Kim has to go through. The leader of this crew, the guy in the leopard print, is now deep in anxiety and despair. Seeing his man brutalized and another one dead on the floor, he knows things have spun completely out of control. He picked a fight with the wrong guy. Leopard print guy just smirks, smoking a cigarette while his men handle the body. They think they're in control, but they don't hear the footsteps of death approaching from outside the door. Manager Kim has arrived. The moment Manager Kim pulls back the burlap sack, a gut-wrenching roar escapes his lips. What did he see? Could it be? Has the worst already happened? The title car drops, Manager Kim, signaling that we are about to hit the climax. Meanwhile, Manager Kim's support team is getting into position. The white Taekwondo van looks innocent enough, but it's packed with killers ready for action. They're not just accounting for loading time. They're getting ready for go time. And now we see another side of our boy's secret agent past. He's a tech wizard, driving with one hand, hacking with the other. He taps into the city's surveillance network to track his target's vehicle. GPS tracking, facial recognition. He's got all the high-tech toys. In just 2.2 seconds, the system gets a lock on the very same informant he met on the street. In the age of big data, there's nowhere to hide. The system pulls up the target's file, Kim Sang-man, and his rap sheet is a mile long. Attempted murder, assault, you name it. Our boy stares at the screen, his expression turning to ice. He knows exactly what kind of monster he's dealing with. The database is checking. The progress bar is climbing. Every tick of the system sounds like a countdown to someone's demise. Look at Mr. Kim's face. Not an ounce of doubt, just pure cold focus. The progress bar is almost at 100%, and his fingers are a blur on the keyboard. The final piece of the intel puzzle is about to fall into place. It's time for a surgical strike. At the last second, just as the data transfer hits 99%, the target's device self-destructs. But it's too late. The look of shock on our boy's face isn't one of failure. It's the look of a man who just got exactly what he needed. Database check complete. With a screech of tires and a roar of the engine, Manager Kim floors it, a manic grin spreading across his face. He's found her. He's found his daughter's location. Western Sea, Pyeongtaek, South Korea. 9.2 kilometers from his current location. Seeing those coordinates on the screen, a twisted, maniacal laugh erupts from him. It's the sound of a father's relief mixed with the promise of absolute annihilation for those who took her. And just like that, a high-speed chase erupts on the highway. His support team doesn't hesitate, ramming the enemy vehicle off the road in a spectacular explosion of metal and fire. They're clearing a path for him, the hard way. With a screech of tires, the white sedan executes a perfect drift on the bridge, sending the yellow taxi flying. Manager Kim stands by, watching the carnage unfold with cold detachment. Nothing will stand in the way of his revenge. The man they call the National Special Ops Director is a mess, covered in dirt and grime, a crazed look in his eyes. He shoves his pistol back into its holster like a feral beast fresh from the battlefield. His mission is simple: save his daughter, kill everyone else. If we leave him be, he's going to follow us to the ends of the earth, one of his partners screams in the car. He's damn right. When a father has nothing left to lose, he becomes the most relentless hunter on the planet. That cold, calculating glare in his eyes seems to pierce through space and time, locking onto every single person involved in his daughter's disappearance. He's checking names off his list, one by one. Who's next? In the chaos of the chase, one of Manager Kim's allies, the guy in the Taekwondo uniform, struggles to crawl out from an overturned bus. Even in this wreckage, there's no sign of retreat. He's still a public official. The line is spoken with a heavy dose of irony. In the face of a father's love, titles and rules mean absolutely nothing. Our boy's actions prove he's willing to go against the entire system for his daughter. If you really kill him, it's going to be a headache, a voice warns over the phone. I'll stall him, so you get going. But Manager Kim isn't listening. He raises his gun, takes aim, and boom, he detonates the car instead. A massive explosion erupts, engulfing everything in flames. Our boy watches with unnerving calm. To him, this is just a necessary step in clearing his path. Nothing and no one will stop him. The previous coordinates point to the piers. With the final confirmation, Manager Kim doesn't hesitate for a second. He leaps off the burning overpass. To save time, he's taking the fastest and most insane route possible. You think I won't shoot you? Our boy takes off his glasses, revealing the eyes of a pure predator. His rage has peaked, and any threats against him now are just a joke. Meanwhile, his Taekwondo master ally is in deep trouble. His face is covered in burns and scars, his eyes wide with terror and despair. Against these ruthless enemies, even a skilled fighter can be pushed to the brink. Bang! A gunshot rings out, sending Manager Kim flying backward from the impact. But even as he's tumbling through the air, that calm expression on his face seems to say, it'll take a lot more than that to stop me. Amidst the fiery explosion, the enemy thinks he's won. But like a phantom, our boy emerges from the chaos, ending the fight with the raw, brutal efficiency he's known for. Another gunshot, but this time, it's the enemy who goes down. Mr. Kim calmly crouches, smoke still curling from the barrel of his gun. Every bullet fired brings him one step closer to his daughter. After the intense firefight, he realizes he's out of ammo. Click! But there's not a hint of panic on his face. For a monster like him, A gun is just one of many, many tools in his arsenal. No gun, no problem. He's still got his fists and a knife. Against the backdrop of a fiery explosion, he lets out a primal scream, announcing to the world that he will destroy anything and everything that stands in his way. Time for some hand-to-hand combat. With a single, devastating palm strike, Manager Kim sends his opponent flying. This is beyond human. This is the pure embodiment of power and rage. Even with an empty gun, the gun itself becomes a weapon. He pistol whips his foe with brutal force, that ferocious look in his eyes screaming, "Did you really think that was all I had?" When the enemy fights back, our boy calmly draws the knife from his belt. His movements are like lightning, giving his opponent zero time to react. A bloody knife fight is about to go down. Bathed in the glow of the raging fire, Manager Kim pins his enemy down. Even with a blade trembling before his eyes, he shows no fear. In this moment, he is a god of vengeance reborn from the flames. With a final, explosive burst of power, boom, Manager Kim utterly demolishes his opponent. The look of pure terror on the guy's face is all the proof you need of his overwhelming strength. Another massive explosion rips through the area, sending enemies flying. And, through the smoke and fire, our boy just keeps moving forward, each step taken on the corpses of his foes. The relentless fighting is finally taking its toll. Clutching the wound in his chest, our boy gasps for air, his body at its limit. But as long as there is breath in his lungs, his vengeance will not stop. The Taekwondo master finally gets free, looking at the blood on his own hands with a furious roar. Meanwhile, the goons in the car are completely paralyzed with fear, witnessing a level of violence they never thought possible. Gripping his knife, Manager Kim locks onto his final target with the eyes of a cheetah. He starts walking forward, every step radiating power and killing intent, forcing his opponent to back away in terror. The Taekwondo expert joins the fray, his powerful kicks complementing Mr. Kim's cold, deadly precision. Their enemy can do nothing but struggle helplessly against this two-man wrecking crew. A flying kick connects with explosive force, sending the enemy soaring. Manager Kim and his ally dive down from above, ready to deliver the final, fatal blow. Through the high-speed chase and brutal combat, our boy's grip on his knife never loosens. His eyes never leave the target. This is a deadly game of cat and mouse, and Manager Kim is always the cat. The enemy is finished. Their car plunges into the river below with a massive splash. Manager Kim stands on the edge of the bridge, his face a mask of grim satisfaction. He has eliminated all obstacles in the most extreme way possible. The bridge is still exploding, but Manager Kim doesn't even flinch. He just glares at his opponent, and the blood splatter effect tells us this confrontation is far from over. And here it is, his ultimate move. Manager Kim unleashes all his latent power in a massive shockwave, sending enemies flying in every direction. This isn't just martial arts. This is pure, weaponized rage. In the final showdown on the bridge, both sides are seeing red. The wail of police sirens is getting closer, but nothing can stop this out-of-control deathmatch now. With one last thunderous blow, the final enemy is defeated, sent plummeting from a bridge. Manager Kim has won the battle in the most brutal way imaginable, but there's no trace of victory on his face. The remaining thugs watch in horror as their comrades hit the water, screaming in despair. They finally understand. They messed with a monster they never should have provoked. The battle is over. Manager Kim drives to the final destination, the shipping terminals. He shines his shoes, composes himself, and prepares for the final, most dangerous challenge yet. The blare of a ship's horn sounds like a battle cry. Our boy's gaze sharpens, and he steps deliberately into the water, walking toward the unknown danger that awaits. Following the footprints on the ground, he walks alone into the heart of the pier. Sweat drips from his brow. He knows that with every step, he's walking deeper into a death trap. He kneels before the container from Simmel Freezer Incorporated. His hands tremble as he reaches for the burlap sack, hesitating. He's fighting a war within himself, terrified of what he might find inside. Gritting his teeth, he grabs the handle and smashes the door open. With a furious roar, he unleashes a punch that sends the guard inside flying. He has to see for himself. He has to know if his daughter is safe. Inside the freezer, set to a chilling minus 30 degrees Celsius, a girl is huddled in the corner, shivering. Seeing this, our boy's heart sinks into an icy abyss. Is that his daughter, Minji? The daughter's despair, the father's awakening. Manager Kim stands before the freezer door, his shadow long and menacing. The transformation from ordinary dad to cold-blooded avenger is complete. Now it's time for a reckoning. The door creaks open. Minji, huddled in the corner, looks up in pure terror. A hulking shadow looms in the doorway, slowly approaching her. The sense of dread is absolutely suffocating. Look at his eyes. That's the look of a man whose last ounce of gentleness has just been extinguished. From this moment forward, anyone connected to this will be dragged into the abyss with him. In the freezing warehouse, Minji watches in horror as a rusty pipe is raised to strike her. Meanwhile, the tall figure just stands in the shadows, watching coldly, as if enjoying a show. But wait, the man who enters has tears welling up in his eyes. There's blood on his lip, his expression a mask of pain and conflict. Who is this guy? An enemy? Or something much more complicated? Then he gets a call. On the other end, a faint voice whispers, "Dad." Hearing his daughter's voice shatters his composure. All the strength, all the cold resolve, crumbles in an instant. On the other end of the line, Minji is curled up in a corner, watching the horror unfold. And our boy, clutching the phone, can only listen, his face a portrait of a father's anguish and heartbreak. Suddenly, thwack, someone attacks him from behind, knocking the phone from his hand. His only link to his daughter is severed. This unexpected attack is about to unleash a level of fury we haven't seen yet. "You got that right," Leopard Print Guy says with a vicious smile as he plunges a knife into the gray-haired man. This internal power struggle is far bloodier and more complicated than it first appeared. Witnessing this brutal stabbing, Minji desperately tries to call for help. Little does she know, the number she's dialing belongs to one of the very people responsible for her being there. The call connects, but it's too late. The man with the glasses is already down. Minji's desperate call for help has only triggered more bloodshed. Leopard Print Guy uses the phone to threaten the chairman of Juyung Construction, who can only pray for mercy. This power play has spun completely out of control. Minji shrinks in the corner, staring at the man before her. His cold, calculating gaze shows he's in complete control. In this game played by powerful men, she is just an innocent pawn. "Who are you? What do you want from us?" The two suits are completely freaked out by the sudden appearance of the masked manager Kim. They're feeling an oppressive aura they've never felt before, the chilling presence of death itself. He doesn't answer with words, but with action. Grabbing one of them by the hair, he asks mockingly, "Cat got your tongue?" The sheer humiliation is almost worse than a quick death. Our boy shoves his daughter's phone right in the fat man's face, applying both physical and psychological pressure. In the face of such overwhelming force, any lies or excuses are completely useless. In the pouring rain, Leopard Print Guy gets a call from a contact named Moron. He struggles to hear over the storm, listening to critical instructions. It seems there's an even bigger player pulling the strings behind this whole conspiracy. Meanwhile, a car full of hitters is on the move. Each one has a different look, nervous, calm, even a little excited. These are the men who are about to go head-to-head with Manager Kim. The voice on the phone orders Leopard Print Guy to go to the freezer warehouse and look for someone named Sangman. It looks like there's a traitor in their midst, or perhaps Sangman's disappearance is directly related to our boy's actions. A call goes out to the big boss. At the same time, we see a man lying broken on the floor, his face a mask of terror. This proves it. Manager Kim's actions have gotten the attention of the top brass, and a much bigger storm is brewing. The chase is on. Manager Kim and his enemies battle it out in the rain-soaked night. He moves like lightning in the darkness, every strike precise and deadly, bringing his foes crashing to the ground. On the slippery surface of a shipping container, our boy displays incredible agility and strength. He's fighting like some fucked up, rabid dog, relentlessly hounding his enemy, giving them no room to breathe. Rain and sweat stream down his furious face. He lets out a primal roar, channeling all of his pain and rage into his fists. The raw emotion is palpable. He sprints across the massive cranes, his figure a tiny but determined silhouette against the storm. For his daughter, he would run through hell itself. Gang Chanju of Juyung Construction. When the enemy finally spills the name, our boy gets his answer. He knows who's behind all, and the terrified lackey has just witnessed the devil himself. "What does he have to do with my daughter?" he screams. But instead of answering, the man chooses to leap from the container, trying to take the secret to his grave. A futile gesture against a man like Manager Kim. Without a second's hesitation, he jumps right after him. Grabbing a nearby rope, he swings through the air like a bird of prey, swooping down on his target. He crashes hard onto another container, the impact sending a jolt of pain through him. But what's a little physical pain compared to the agony of losing his daughter? It's nothing. Manager Kim looks up at the sky in anguish, the rain washing over his face. In the distance, Leopard Print Guy is on the phone, smirking, It seems this was all part of his plan. The hunter has become the hunted. Or maybe those morons are up to something? His instincts are screaming that something is wrong. He's realized he might have walked right into a much larger trap. The men waiting behind that door are proof. Crash. The car window shatters into a million pieces. The goon resting inside jolts awake, his eyes widening in terror as he sees the demonic figure outside. He knows his time is up. Staring through the shattered glass, Manager Kim confronts his prey. He scrapes his blade against the broken window, the sound mixing with the rain as he passes his final judgment. I've said it a million times, but nothing's going to change, he roars, unleashing all his pent-up fury. He's not just a man anymore. He's an unstoppable force of nature fueled by vengeance. He drags the man out through the broken window, slamming him down into the driver's seat. The guy's terrified screams are a testament to our boy's absolute ruthlessness. We dumped her in the cold storage to freeze the body. Hearing those words, something inside Manager Kim snaps completely. Freeze her, he screams, smashing his fist into the man's face with inhuman force. A storm of furious fists rains down on his enemy, who is utterly powerless to fight back. This one-sided beatdown in the pouring rain is just brutal to watch. He collapses to his knees, gasping for breath, but he's not done. He gets back up, smashes through the window of a nearby truck, and knocks out the driver who was just enjoying a hot dog. Anyone in his path gets the same treatment. He hijacks the truck and floors it, speeding towards the cold storage facility. His face is a mixture of pain and determination. For his daughter, he is ready to declare war on the world. He's like a superhero, leaping between shipping containers, closing the distance with impossible speed. The fat guy in the car can only watch in disbelief, having never seen anything so terrifying in his life. He lands on the truck and immediately neutralizes the driver with a brutal knee strike, forcing the vehicle to swerve out of control. To save his daughter, he's willing to cause a multi-car pileup if he has to. The truck wobbles wildly on the highway, glass shattering. The situation completely chaotic. Manager Kim is starring in his own personal version of Fast and Furious, and it is insane. With a deafening screech, the truck flips onto its side in the rain. But even as the world turns upside down, our boy's grip on the wheel is steady, his gaze unwavering. The massive truck tumbles through the air before crashing down onto the pavement. This spectacular accident, orchestrated by Manager Kim himself, serves as the grand opening for his rescue operation. The truck plunges into the sea, sending up a colossal splash. Manager Kim roars into the storm, a declaration of war on his enemies and the desperate cry of a father pushed beyond his limits. While bystanders hesitate, wondering if they should call for help first, our boy doesn't waste a second. He dives into the freezing water to save the sole survivor and his only remaining lead. I'll always hunt you down for messing with my daughter. You'll always be in the palm of my hands. Mr. Kim delivers his ultimatum to the mastermind. But the guy just smirks as if he's still holding all the cards. We cut back to the imprisoned Minji, shivering in the freezing darkness, her breath visible in the cold air. Her eyes are filled with nothing but helplessness and despair. Leopard print guy stands outside the door, a cold smile on his face, while inside, Minji is tied up and crying. The stark contrast pushes the tension to its absolute peak. Can Manager Kim get there in time to save his daughter? The man with the gold teeth flashes a psychotic grin, clearly enjoying the chaos he's created. But our boy just watches calmly, seeing the scattered money and the figure in the distance. He knows the final battle is about to begin. Against a blood-red backdrop, Manager Kim looks utterly exhausted, but the fire in his eyes has not been extinguished. As long as his daughter isn't safe, his fight will never, ever be over.